Plymouth Argyle 1, Liverpool 0. We go out of the FA Cup to a team bottom of the Championship, and we were shocking. We were poor as a team. We were poor all over the pitch. Not a single Liverpool player showed up today, not one. But before I get on to Liverpool, and I do have quite a bit to say, let's talk about Plymouth. Bottom of the Championship, and they were absolutely superb. Their two centre halves that they've apparently recently just signed were magnificent. Their crowd is up for it, of course. FA Cup, small team, you expect that, but more importantly, their players were up for it. Every single one of them in a green shirt put everything out on the pitch today. So congratulations Plymouth on a absolutely historic and thoroughly deserved win. Any Plymouth fans watching this video, congratulations, your team did you proud. So let's talk about Liverpool and the team that Arne Slot put out on the pitch, which I actually noted in the group I thought was an excellent team. Yeah, he played a few kids, but in general these were players that are on the fringes of the first team or coming back from injury, and all who would expect to be seeing quite a bit of game time over the course of the remainder of the season. So we had Kelleher, Kwanzaa, Tsimikas, Endo, Elliott, Jota, Diaz, all first teamers, and Chiesa, a seasoned international as well. That's 8 of the starting 11 were first team or fringe players, not kids. And unfortunately Joe Gomez, the poor lad, he's just injury prone. He always has been, and I think he always will be. Certain players are just injury prone. He had to go after 8 minutes. But not one of those players I just mentioned showed up today. Not a single one of them. How often on these videos have I talked about that one thing that is seemingly a cultural thing with Liverpool, and it's complacency. It's been long standing, and the minute we seem to play a lower level team, complacency kicks in. And the minute you show a lack of respect for the opposition or lack of respect for the competition, like I think those players did today, I don't think Slot did. I think he picked a perfectly acceptable team to win that game, but those players didn't show up. They were complacent from start to finish. Yeah, they gave it a go with 10 minutes to go, but nowhere near enough. That's exactly what happened today. Complacency. When you look at that game, which team's players were fist pumping, high-fiving each other? Which team's players had that look of determination in their eyes, who were actually like giving it loads every time they made a tackle or they put a ball out for a corner? Did you see that from the Liverpool players? Because I didn't. They had determination in their eyes, they had determination in their body language. Every single Plymouth player had that. Every single Liverpool player did not. They played with heart, passion, desire, determination, grit, fight. Everything that you need to win a football game, especially when you know the team that you're playing has higher quality, and we showed none of it. None of it. The bottom line is, if you're going to play for Liverpool Football Club, it's a prerequisite that you have heart and drive and determination, and you're willing to put in the hard yards. And so many of them today were guilty of not living up to that very basic requirement. Not being asked is not okay when you play for Liverpool. Do you know how far Plymouth is from Liverpool? It's over 300 miles. It's a hell of a place to get to. It takes a day, or it's probably a 2-day trip to go to this game. And a couple of thousand Liverpool fans made that trek down there, and they were absolutely shortchanged by every player on that pitch today. Those fans have given up a couple of days of their life They spent a fortune getting down to watch that game. They showed commitment and passion to support that club, more so than the players who took the field today for Liverpool. Now, I've already seen it. I haven't looked at many comments yet. I decided to gather my thoughts before doing this video, but I've already seen it. It's probably a good thing we're out of that, because now we can focus on the others. It's not okay to go out like that. Otherwise, just send a note into the FA and say, we don't want to bother. We want to win this. And yeah, being out of it might give us the edge now on the others. It's less games. I get that. I understand that. But that doesn't excuse that performance from those players. It just doesn't. It doesn't excuse any player having a lack of effort or a lack of fight. So I've bundled all the players together so far because it was a collective failure across all of them. But there's a couple that I really do have to mention, because what they did today was worryingly bad. And these are players that I've been very positive on over the years, and one of them was Harvey Elliott. Yeah, the penalty was, I don't know what he was thinking, but everything else he did was shocking. He was just awful. I actually think that might well be Harvey Elliott's worst game in a Liverpool shirt, and I don't know why. I don't know what was going on with him, but it was an unacceptable performance. The other one comes from a player who has had a very, very solid season, and that is Kostas Tsimikas. How many times did he balloon the ball over the bar? How many times did he lose possession? How many times did he make the wrong decision? I'm picking on these two because I think they were the two worst on the pitch for me, but also because these are two that I think are the next in line. You know, yeah, we've got the three midfielders plus Curtis Jones, but Harvey Elliott's the next one that we rely on, and we need him. And Kostas Tsimikas has been rotating with Andy Robertson, and to see both of them put in displays like that was mind-boggling, to be honest with you. I'm not just picking on those two, but I just wanted to highlight it because of what I just said, because of their importance going forward. But the front three, Chiesa, Jota, Diaz, that's a class front three. And there will be the usual, well, you need service as forwards, but you've got to put the effort in, you've got to put the heart in, you've got to try. And I've never accused Luis Diaz of not trying, but where was he today? Where was Jota? Where was Chiesa? We had 2 shots on target in the entire game. And that was only because we had a little bit of a go at the end. We had 1 shot on target in the first 80 odd minutes. And none of them did enough. None of them rolled the sleeves up. None of those front three were yelling at the midfield to get them the ball or tracking back to try and make things happen. None of them. Not good enough. Not good enough. So for the first time ever, I'm not giving anyone a shout out. There's no one to give a shout out. To get a shout out, you have to do something above and beyond. You have to do something outstanding, and not one of them did. Many players today were given the chance to impress. Many of them were given a vote of confidence. Go on, get out there and put on a show and prove that you are knocking on the door for one of the starting positions coming up. None of them took it. I think I heard it was only the 4th time that a team who's been top of the English top flight has lost in the FA Cup to a team in the lower division. So we have to dust ourselves down now after that. We have to be ready for an Everton team who are going to show every bit and more fight than what we got from Plymouth today. The only sliver of good news is that I don't think 10 of them who started today will be starting against Everton. There's the 3rd forward spot with Mo and Cody Gakpo is going to go to someone who played today. It's either going to be Jota or Diaz or Nunes, who came on as a sub, but not one of them earned the right. So Arne Slot has a decision to make on that one. Now, I'm going to end after all of that, and I think everything I just said is valid and relevant, and it needs to be called out when something like that happens. But I'm going to end on a positive. Look, we've been great all season. We've been absolutely phenomenal. That's why we're so far ahead in the Premier League. That's why we were brilliant in the Champions League. And today is a blemish. It's more than a blemish, it's a big blemish. Today's a kick in the nuts, to be honest with you. But it's been otherwise a fantastic season, and there's no reason now we bring back all of our first team world-class players that it can't go on to become a standout, iconic season. So although I'm not happy about today, say I do have a little smile there, in the overall scheme of things, the season so far has been immense, and it can become even more immense, and it should become even more immense. And maybe that's a wake-up call. It's not a blessing in disguise, but maybe it's a wake-up call that Slot can gather them all together and say, this is what happens when you do not put the effort in to match your talent. We are the best team in the country, by far, and I fully expect to put right everything that went wrong today when we show up at Goodison on Wednesday. But it's going to be a battle, and we better be ready for it. I'll see you after that one. You'll never walk alone. Cheers to that.